right, our big story, the city of Portland is spending more than $1 million on pot. Let that sink in for a second. But now let's elaborate. The city is spending more than $1 million specifically on helping small cannabis businesses who have been struggling during the pandemic. Now, if you're like the people on our team, do not judge us. You might be thinking, wasn't everyone getting high a lot when COVID first hit? Like, I thought pot shops were doing well. Everyone was like those giggling women at that table. Ponder that while you play Dark Side of the Moon. Good for you. But here's the answer. Yes, there was initially a surge in purchases, but longer term marijuana businesses have been hurting. Why? Several reasons, but chief among them, wildfires creating supply chain issues and rising crime, which for pot shops, which are largely still all cash, they're easy targets. And here's another big one. Because marijuana is still illegal on the federal level, pot shops couldn't get any of that relief money that was doled out for small businesses by Congress. Enter the Portland City Council. This week, commissioners approved a plan to spend $1.3 million on grants for cannabis businesses and workers. Starting in February of next year, individual workers will be able to get up to $5,000 or businesses can get up to $25,000. And there's a lot they can use this money on, like for the workers paying their rent, same for the businesses, covering paid time off for the workers, or fixing damage from vandalism. And at that meeting, city council members dove into their specific reasons for really wanting to help out the weed industry. In Portland, again, dispensaries have seen a rise in crime with robberies, assaults, even murder. In one of the most glaring examples of this violence, dispensary employee Michael Arthur was shot and killed while working at a shop in North Portland. City officials say all of these factors contribute to a really high stress environment for dispensary workers.
And then with the 115% increase in robberies that we saw from 2019 to 2020, that added a lot of concern. Especially we wanted to get this for the workers as well. You know, a lot of them don't have paid time off, don't have medical coverage. And if you're undergoing, bodily injury, sexual assault, witnessing a homicide, that could be, create some trauma and grief that would need to be tended to. So we really want to make sure that we're caring for our Portland-based businesses and its workers in order for the industry to really survive and thrive.
Now, we should note every single member of the city council, including Mayor Ted Wheeler, enthusiastically approved the plan this week, and grant applications open up in February. From there, the city plans to prioritize, among others, BIPOC and women-owned businesses. That being said, let's pivot now to illegal marijuana, because even though pot is legalized in all West Coast states, unsanctioned, unregulated grows are still a really big problem. We reported on this. In fact, here's what Jackson County Commissioner Rick Dyer told us about this.
Law enforcement has some pretty good evidence that this is a lot of cartel activity, and it's cartels from around the world, not just Mexican cartels, which are what we're normally associating this type of activity with. But we, again, because we haven't been able to really penetrate a very good percentage of the number of these grows, we don't know exactly who we're dealing with, but we just know it's some pretty bad folks, and they're doing some extremely, again, damaging and bad things in the community.